Hello, everyone. Welcome to FREEWrite Friday. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jessica Lynn Johnson, and I am the founder and CEO of Soaring Solo Studios, which is dedicated to the development and direction and producing of one-person shows. So I have the honor of working with people all over the globe, and I work with Heather Dowling, who is a phenomenal solo artist and solo coach and director, who is part of Soaring Solo. And yeah, we have a wonderful team and I've been doing this work for over 20 years, and Heather, it's been over a decade now. So yeah, we love what we do and helping people tell their stories from stage. So a little bit about my background. I'm a solo artist myself. I toured for over 13 years with my first two solo shows, and I have some ideas percolating for my third solo show. And I'm writing a book about solo theater and how to write it, perform it, produce it. Thank you, Liza. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited to complete the book. I've got the goal of this year and get it out there to help everybody with their process, encourage them, and put it in some tangible steps through the book. So that's a work in progress. I've had the honor of directing and developing over 150 solo shows now, and still going strong, and producing many as well. And so yeah, it's obviously my passion. And I blog for NoHo Arts, all about solo theater as well. So if you go to the NoHo Arts website, you can find the Soaring Solo blog, which has all kinds of blog entries about the journey that we go through as solo artists. Or you can email me and I'll connect you to my page. I'm also on the advisory board with the Los Angeles Women's Theater Festival, which is just a beautiful nonprofit organization that's been around for how many years? I think 31 years now that we just celebrated. So long time. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I would love to hear about you. Please say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from, or where in your process you are with your solo show. Maybe you're just in the idea phase. Maybe you're already touring, or somewhere in between those two spaces. But I'd love to learn more about you. So say hi in the chat. And the mission of FREEWrite Friday, it's a little bit different than my free Saturday class. This is basically structure-based and writing prompt-based, and it's just 20 minutes. So I'll guide you through a talking point every time we meet. We'll write for 20, maybe 30 minutes, usually 20 minutes. And then we jump off the call and have some more content for your solo show. So that's the goal. We don't share the work or do Q&A or anything in this setting, but you can always bring what you write today to my Saturday free class, or into coaching sessions with me or anything like that, and we can look at it. But this is really just to help support you in writing. And if you like today and you want to come back, the next one is, let's see, June 23rd, I believe is when I made it, June 23rd at noon Pacific, 2 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to sign up the same way you did today. And I think that's mostly everything I've got for you. Let's see. So we've been looking at Save the Cat for the last few months, and Save the Cat is by Blake Snyder. He was a Hollywood screenplay writer, and just looking at all the different beats that he wrote about in the Save the Cat beat structure. And I'm trying to make it applicable to the solo show journey and how we can look through that lens for our solo shows. So we're at point 9 in his beat structure, and you can always go back in my YouTube videos and watch the other 8 points if you missed them. But today's is called the midpoint. So the midpoint is about halfway through our solo shows, as you would assume by the name. Midway through the solo shows, kind of the halfway mark. And this is where the protagonist experiences basically either a false sense of hope or a false sense of failure. And I'll articulate better what those are in a second. But this midway point is not just the same as the rest of the rising action, where we have some obstacles and we have some victories. The midway point is heightened. It's the stakes are higher. It really might lead the audience to think, oh, is this the ending? Is it going to be a bad ending, or is this going to be a really good ending? It's something that really keeps the audience's attention, so that when the show doesn't start to drag in the middle. So as some examples of this, I'll start with a show called After the Fall that I had the honor of working on with Johnny Ray. And in After the Fall, Johnny's character goes through this traumatic accident. His apartment building is hit by a plane. And catches on fire, and he has to jump out of a third-story window, and is essentially like has broken like all of these bones in his body. And he's a masseuse and an actor and all these things. So he's having to heal physically, emotionally, spiritually, just to be able to like make ends meet and live life again from this traumatic event. So about midway through, we have a false hope where his character meets Marisol, who is this woman that is just like this angel and such a ray of hope and sunshine in his life. And you think, oh, is this the end? Like, he's met this woman, he's starting to do better in his healing journey. Maybe this is where it ends. And then it takes a really dark turn where Marisol is killed in a biking accident. And it ends up being a false hope. So he still has to continue on in his healing journey, having this tremendous loss in the aftermath of all this other loss, and still continue to heal on his own and work toward the end of the show. So that would be an example of that. Or an example of a false failure in Kamakshi Hart's show, Wild at Heart, which is all about her sexual trauma, both in childhood and teen years and adulthood. That's what the show explores. About midway through, she's at an ashram being led by a guru, and it comes out that he is essentially a sexual predator. And there's sexual trauma there too with the guru, and he's basically not who he said he was. So we think, this is a really negative space. It feels like the character who's been doing well is now starting to plummet, and we get this false failure because we come out of this space, and Kamakshi discovers the spiritual psychology program in Santa Monica, which is really where her soul is fed and where she processes at the deepest level her sexual traumas and comes out on the other side of it much more healed, a leader herself, a healer herself. So it felt like a failure, but it ended up being something that propelled her on her journey to her true path, to her true healing, and get her out of a situation that wasn't the right fit for her. So those are a couple examples of false hope and false failure, which you'll find at your midpoint in your solo show. So for today, I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes. And what I want you to give thought to is, in your own life, that feeling of a false hope or a false failure, a time where you thought, this is the answer to everything. Oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've been praying for or working toward, or this is it. This is the happy place. And then it doesn't turn out like you thought. Or the reverse, where you think, this is the dark night of the soul. This is where everything falls apart. How am I going to face tomorrow? This is awful. And there's a redemption. So you can write about either or both, but I want you to be thinking about times like that in your life. And if you're writing a show about, let's say, a historic character or a fictitious character, then think about it from the lens of that character. And that's it. So I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes. Remember, you don't have to share anything that you write. That's not what we're doing here today. So be uncensored. Allow yourself to have a messy first draft. That is what first drafts are meant to be. And I will let you know when your time is up. About 4.5 minutes left. 4.5 minutes. Just about a minute left. Okay, please go ahead and wrap up your writing. And if you wrote in a journal or anything like that, I would encourage you to transcribe it into a document on your computer and start saving your material in that way. So it is safe and accumulating and turning into a script. And I would say the biggest takeaway with the midpoint that I want you to think about is allowing your audience to stay engaged midway through your show. There's nothing worse than a show just losing momentum gradually, and everybody's like, oh gosh, how's my car doing? Should I go to ballet? Do I need to go to the bathroom? And just tuning out. So we want to keep them engaged the whole time. And this is a great way to do that by being conscientious about the midpoint of our show and keeping the dramatic tension engaged all throughout our show. And, you know, a lot of times in the middle of the show, we can tend to meander or lose our way. So that's where we want to keep on track with what is our dramatic question, what's our through line, and how do we have that rising action continue through. And fortunately or unfortunately, our life is naturally full of a lot of ups and downs, a lot of false hopes and false failures. And so if we can draw on that from our art and really speak to what we learned and how we transformed through those instances in our life, that's how we're going to remain accessible and inspirational to our audiences. So hopefully that helped you out today to think in those terms. And in the chat, I put a bunch of different announcements of things that are happening in the Soaring Solo community. So definitely take a look at that, and I'll kind of guide you through those things quickly now. But my free class, The Art of Creating the One-Person Play, is happening on Saturday, June 17th, 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central, and 1 p.m. Eastern. And that is a 90-minute class held on Zoom. You can sign up on my website under free stuff, and you'll be sent the link for that. And all levels of experience are welcome to come and play. And you don't have to bring anything to perform or to share. I will provide a writing prompt. But if you'd like to bring something, you're more than welcome to. And if there's time, I'll see it and give you feedback. And if you wanted to work with me in a more professional capacity and set up an initial consultation or try out one of our power pairs or small group sessions, you can email me at soaringsoloartist@gmail.com or fill out a contact form at soaringSoloStudios.com and learn more about those opportunities. And that's also with Heather. Heather is also leading those. And then we do intensives as well, which are 3-week courses focused on structure and character work and things like that. And then if you're wanting to put a stake in the ground, I mean, I find that nothing makes it happen more than having a stake in the ground that is meaningful to you. So with that inspiration, I created Revealed. And Revealed is a virtual reading series that I produce where we feature new solo scripts on Zoom. The artist reads their script. The virtual audience gives feedback at the end. It's a supportive, nurturing container for the artist to discover what's working and what's not working with the script in order to make it better before you invest in memorizing and technical attributes and staging it and, you know, producing it and all the things. Before you go through all that trouble, you want to make sure that your script is really solid. And we can't just work in a creative cave by ourselves. We have to let in our community, a safe, supportive community to weigh in on that and see where our blind spots are, or where there's, you know, points of magnificence where we could turn up the volume a little bit and enhance. So if you're interested in being a part of Revealed, it's ongoing. You and I would work with a schedule that works for both of us in terms of when we would premiere it. And yeah, I can tell you more about that if you want to email me, but that is an ongoing series on Zoom. And then, as I told you, the next FREEWrite Friday is happening June 23rd at noon Pacific. So you can sign up for that if you enjoyed today and want to come back. And I also put my YouTube channel in the chat where I've got, I don't know, probably like 200 videos at this point of free content. So lots of writing prompts, lots of guided meditations and visualizations to help your writing, as well as more logistical, analytical, pragmatic videos about the solo theater industry and tips for that. And then in terms of other stakes to put in the ground, if you're looking for festivals, we're about to embark upon the Hollywood Fringe Festival in June. And that's a fabulous festival to get involved in. That's, like I said, in June. There's the Binge Fringe Festival in the fall. There's my festival, the Stars series, which Heather and I co-produce. And that happens fall, winter. We kind of fluctuate which months each year, but sometime between October and December, we'll be doing the Stars series. There's Solo Fest which is the largest solo theater festival on the West Coast. And that happens January through March at the Whitefire Theater in Sherman Oaks. There's United Solo, which originated in New York City, but I believe it's in England now as well. Orlando Fringe is very well known as well. I'm bi-coastal, and I have a client that just did her show in the Orlando Fringe the other night. She was fabulous. It was fabulous. I highly recommend the Orlando Fringe. The Joshua Tree Solo Festival, a lot of us just got back from that at the end of April. It was fabulous. And the LA Women's Theater Festival as well. So if you're catching my drift, the festival circuit is a great way to build your laurels, build your accolades, get your name out there, build your press kit, get audience reviews, get action shots, videos of your work, like all the things that you need to take your show to the next level and to market it and sell it and tour with it. So the festival circuit tends to be very, very good at hand holding and giving you kind of a structure and deadlines and things like that, and built-in community from other people who are doing the festival. So you're not doing it on your own. You will hear me constantly say that even though it is a solo show, it takes a tribe, it takes a creative community to bring it to fruition. Not one of us can do this by ourselves. So get involved, meet other people, go see shows, be the kind of, community member that you would want at your show, support. And the Soaring Solo discount code is Soaring Solo, all lowercase, all one word, Soaring Solo. And I'll be blasting out emails about the Fringe festivals. So those of you who are local can come see it, or you can tune into the shows that are live streaming. I know some Hollywood Fringe shows will be live streaming as well. So that's about it. I'm 3 minutes past my 20-minute mark, but we came pretty close today. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of this. And this will be on YouTube later if you missed anything and want to watch it back. But please have a beautiful weekend. And thank you so much for your time today. Bye, everyone.